tracker.
Yeah, Sarah, we've been doing it all week, right? 5 candidates for governor, 5 days now and counting before the election, at least business days. Charlie,
five days?
Business days, Charlie, yeah. Saturday and Sunday, I kick back, put the hands behind the head.
Just for everybody who's out there, there's 7 days before the election here.
Tuesday through Friday, take a pause, then we got Monday, Tuesday. Here's my first question for you. Are you okay after last night? This was a rock'em sock'em robots debate you were engaged in.
Well, we had I really enjoyed it. I love the live audience. I thought that was a great addition to the whole thing. And as I've said before, any opportunity I have to make my case to the voters on what I think we can do to improve the economy and improve our schools and bring balance to Beacon Hill, I'm going to take.
But did you ever in a debate like last night where you're like, man, somebody ring the bell. I got to go to my corner and catch my breath, because it really felt like that.
Well, it was, I think the live audience sort of created a certain level of edginess, intensity, whatever you want to call it. But again, I enjoyed the chance to talk to the voters and to talk to the folks in the auditorium about my plans to make Massachusetts great.
I find the dynamic is so fascinating to me, because you're standing there and she's hitting you and reporters hitting you. And I know at some point during the night you hate her, and I know you would never admit to that. But then there are other times where you must have tremendous empathy for her. They go, we're going to take a random question from some guy, and it's on the Fells Acre case. I'm like, Martha Coakley must be going, you are kidding me that this is happening right now, but there it was.
Well, there's definitely something about walking in somebody's shoes. You know, the great line from To Kill a Mockingbird, you don't really understand somebody till you've walked in their shoes. I've walked in Martha Coakley's shoes. She's walked in mine. Anybody who's run statewide, you certainly have a certain amount of empathy for what it's all about. But at the same time, I think there are clear differences between her agenda and mine, and I think that's a big part of the reason why we've been closing in the polls.
Harvard Pilgrim came up again last night, and you guys went over this again. Do you feel like they are trying to swift boat you on your work at Harvard Pilgrim?
I certainly think they're trying to talk about Harvard Pilgrim because they don't have a message of their own that they think sells with the voters. I mean, I've spent most of this race talking about what I want to do as governor, how I want to make this state better, how I want to improve our economy, and how I want to bring fiscal discipline and balance to Beacon Hill. And I think we've been pretty aggressive about our positive message on that. And I said primary night that I expected they were going to spend most of their time talking about me, and that's clearly been their strategy from the beginning.
I don't know if you've seen the Globe yet today, but you know, the DeMacy case came up last night, and there was 2 sides to it. One, her role in maybe not trying to look into that. 2 is the fact that you got a campaign contribution from DeMacy's accountant. A, is that true? B, how did that happen?
Well, anybody who wants to donate to the campaign can. All they got to do is click on the website. We sent the donation back after we got it.
So she said last night you didn't send it back until she brought it up. Is that
That's not true. We sent it back as soon as we got it.
Is there anything that came up last night that you want to clear the record on? Because we always hear like fact checks after the fact, and you're like, she was wrong about this or that. Is there anything that stood out with you?
You know, it all went by in such a rush, VB, that I don't really have. I mean, I'm sure the fact checkers will be hard at work. I do think there were 2 big differences between her positions and mine. Number one, I made clear I wasn't going to raise taxes, and she basically made clear that she will. She supports the automatic increase in the gas tax.
She made a really good case yesterday, though. First time I've heard it, where she named 3 projects in Worcester where you guys were that are going to get set back if that doesn't happen. I thought that, I'm against her on that, but I thought that was effective.
Well, except that you can make the argument that, I mean, what they're basically saying is that every project everywhere across Massachusetts isn't going to happen if we don't have an automatic increase in the gas tax. I think that's a red herring and a false choice. We can do a lot of the projects that we need to do here in the Commonwealth and do the kinds of investments we need to do, but this idea that we can only do that if the gas tax goes up forever without the legislature ever voting on it again, it's a false choice.
Do you know when you have a moment like before the crowd reacts, when you gave the speech about democracy and these guys got to be held accountable and they got to vote, do you know you're nailing that at the time, or are you like, I'm not even thinking about it, I'm just trying to get the words out properly?
I'm just trying to make my case, and it's up to the people in the audience and the voters to make decisions, and the pundits, VB, to make the decisions about what they think was good or bad over the course of the conversation.
Oh, I thought that one was pretty effective.
Thank
I also
you.
thought what you said about the Mayor Menino last night was effective. But it's so funny because I didn't even know they were doing parting shots the way the thing was going. Yeah. You didn't have an opening statement.
Right.
And then that came up out of nowhere, and you guys just got slammed with these yes-no questions. And then, okay, parting shots. And you were like, wow, I haven't got my breath. Very effective.
Well, he was the mayor of this city for a very long time. He did a ton of good work, and he was always everywhere. And was always hoping that he would have a chance to enjoy his retirement, his book tour, his wife, his kids, his grandkids, and I think fate has tossed him just a horrible hand here.
1 week to go. You just looking forward to it being
That would be
over?
that would be 7 days.
Okay,
maybe.
but 5
Yeah.
business days. You just glad it's going to be over now at this point?
Well,
or-
there's certainly something to the notion that you really just want to know how it ends. But I've really enjoyed the campaign. I've enjoyed the race. I love the interaction with the people that you get every day. And I'm going to be full on all the way through until the end.
Charlie Baker, Republican candidate for governor. Good to see you. Debate
Take care.
tonight. Please mention the weed whacker if you could.
I
one
will.
time
I'll
for
make
me.
sure I bring that up.
I'd appreciate that. Martha Coakley will join us on Thursday, Jeff McCormick tomorrow as we continue our series of the governor's candidates. In the meantime, quick break. A lot more to do when we come back here on the Fox 25 Morning News.